on YouTube. If you need to edit or change settings at this point, you click
it just says go live.
There.
You're
so
live.
remember,
No way.
you will not be seeing anything on YouTube.
I don't know about
you will not be seeing anything over on your channel until you hit go live for the second time over on YouTube.
I'm trying to figure out how to do this.
I will say this. I do want you guys to understand this. If you see here under stream connection that the connection is poor connection, you need to hop back over to your Streamlabs OBS or OBS, wherever your streaming software is, and you need to go ahead and end the stream here and go back to settings to where you see here where you see output, and you may need to tweak the video bit rate. You may need to decrease this number here. So if your connection is poor, you may need to decrease this. I like to keep mine somewhere around 2,500 to 3,200. It really depends on your connection stability at your house or studio or wherever you're streaming from. So make sure you check your video bit rate, and that's going to be affecting your stream as well.
To figure out.
Now, if we hop back over to YouTube here, I'm going to go ahead and close.
I'm just trying to figure out.
I definitely don't want to go live
what
here.
I'm doing. I've never tried this before.
What we can do is we can create a live event.
I got my iPhone going and was trying to figure out how to do a live stream, and this is my laptop, and I was trying to copy what the YouTube video said to go live, and then it was telling me that through this was to go through Streamlabs and or whatever, and but my laptop didn't even do that. It went straight just to go live. It didn't use anything. It didn't use any Streamlabs or whatever, that OBS. It didn't do anything. So it just went live. When I clicked it go live, it went live, and it was kind of crazy. So I don't know. I know I see you, or I can see your chat, but I'm trying to figure out how to do the because there was another video I saw that had Streamlabs going through OBS, and I thought that's what I was on, and I wanted to do my computer, my laptop, and then have my my phone here, so we could do a Skype, and I was going to actually talk to you guys in with Craps Nation, and trying to figure out this stupid thing out, because I'm complete. This is like, this is the next step, and I've been wanting to do this. I've got my Craps layout in the other room, and that was going to be the next step after I figured this insanity out. So I don't know. So I know this is not part of Streamlabs. This is just YouTube, but only by itself. So who's the other victim in here? I see it says 3 now. Who's the other victim that's watching me besides same bed? Hello. Neither do I. I mean, all I did, I thought it was going to be the same thing as the mobile, the iPhone, and you just hit the go live, and then you do it. Payback. Yeah. Well, like I said, this is my laptop, and I've got it set up, and I'm just trying different things. I know I can't do the. So anyway, like I said, this was a weird experiment. Yeah. Hey. So I'm going to. Is there any suggestions, or I mean, should I go ahead and do this? Do the stream? I got the Streamlabs on my mobile. I haven't put it on the laptop yet, and I didn't know, because I kept getting an error when I would go live on the Streamlabs. It would give me an error saying that there was a YouTube error. So I had figured, and I couldn't change anything in the settings with YouTube with my mobile, with just the mobile, because it didn't have enough functions. I had to go back on the laptop. So that's what I was in the process of looking around. And then I just was hitting, looking at different buttons and stuff and watching this crazy video, and then bam, it just did. Or stream key changed. It might have, yes, because now I'm only using just directly YouTube. I want to go back, and I really want to go back and use the Streamlabs so I can combine them both. Is it? I assume that's a good thing to do, George. So how do are you saying that? Can you see a different key, a street? Can you see a different stream key, or what? Find your YouTube stream key, copy paste it into Streamlabs. On my mobile or on my laptop? Copy it and paste it into Streamlabs. I have not. Let me double check something. I'm going to minimize my. It's on my YouTube. Okay, but I'm going to minimize my Chrome here, and then I'm going to see if I've actually, because I don't remember if I downloaded Streamlabs onto my laptop or not. I do know for a fact I did it on my mobile. So hang on just a second. Let me look here. I got Streamlabs on my computer. Skype. So I went into the auto order thing of all the suggested categories. No, I don't have Streamlabs downloaded on my computer at all. So let me go back into Chrome now. It's on YouTube. It's on the YouTube account. Okay, so I have to probably find that again. For your phone, right? Okay. Will I be able to find it on my using my phone? Can I find it on my phone while I'm still active on the laptop? Okay. All right. So when I go into my settings, my channel settings. When I go into my channel settings on my mobile, it just says the description is the Craps channel for comparison systems. That's what I named it. And then below that is the privacy. It just says keep all my subscriptions private and keep all my saved playlists private. There's no other options. Okay, if you are live on your laptop, you're hijacking the stream. Yeah, I kind of assume that. So that's not really what I wanted to do. It just happened by accident. So I should quit the laptop streaming. Do you think it will? Okay? What I want to go live on my mobile phone, on my iPhone, But every time I tried to use Streamlabs to go live on my iPhone, it would give me an error that that it wouldn't use, that I couldn't use YouTube for some reason, and it always gave me an issue, and that's why I never, I only got that far. So I never knew how to go around that. Is there a way that we can use? I've got my wife's phone here too, so I could use my phone for Skype, and then, or I could actually probably download Skype on her phone. Go into, we can go into the YouTube or into our Craps Nation channel on Skype, and that way I can hear you. Have you set up and logged into your YouTube account on Streamlabs? I tried on my via my mobile app or via my mobile phone, and I could go in and start the Streamlabs process, and when I hit go live, it would give me an error. It would give me a YouTube it would give me an error that YouTube, your account wasn't set up properly, or there was some type of error with YouTube, not with Streamlabs, with my phone, but it was saying that Streamlabs was seeing a problem with YouTube, and it gave me an error message on my mobile account, and I couldn't do it. I never have been able to figure out how to go around that yet. So that's what I was trying to do here. I was trying to access more bells and whistles on my laptop with my YouTube account, to tweak it, to figure out what I needed to do to tweak it. And I was playing with the buttons on my laptop, and I went live. And I didn't think it was. I was just doing a test, because I didn't even think the damn thing would go live, just directly with YouTube, because I was getting that other error. So I was kind of shocked that the thing worked. This way was just direct, and I never thought it would go, because I was always under the impression that you had to have 1,000 subscribers to do it. So, I mean, would you want me to set up the Skype stuff so that we can hear each other and talk, instead of just having you type? I mean, would that be? I'm trying to do what's most convenient for us, because right now, you typing and me talking, is not as efficient as I think it could be. Or you could Skype me on my phone if you wanted, but I was going to say it would probably be more efficient, because my account and everything else is on this one, and I figured that we would have to be using my phone to make it work as the guinea pig to work out the bugs on it, and I could use my wife's phone for Skyping, so that we could converse back and forth while we're working on my phone. Okay, all right, gotcha. Okay, well, at your convenience, whenever you have time, it'll give me something to work with and to work on. So I'm sure we can tackle it. It's just a minor, whatever's convenient for you. Whatever's convenient for you. I'm up 24/7, basically. So whenever's convenient for you, just give me a call, and we'll work out the details. I know you're an IT guy. I know St. Bet's an IT guy, and I was trying to figure out. I know. Sleepy had worked out the situation. Hey, hi, Dice Apprentice. I'm just this is I was shocked that this actually worked. Okay, cool. Thank you very much, George. I appreciate you. Like you have no idea. Thank you, and we'll tackle it tomorrow for sure. Okay, so tomorrow we'll make this monster work the way I want it to work, and because I really want it to work through my mobile phone. All right, thanks, George. Thanks. So I really want it to work through my iPhone, my mobile phone. I want that to be the primary to go through Streamlabs, to go through YouTube to stream, and then and then I can set up. I've got my laptop, I've got the the iPhone, and if I'm in the process of I haven't bought the webcam, but I'm going to probably do that too. I was actually going to go do that. We're getting an ice storm right now. It's coming in, and it's supposed to be happening all night tonight. So that's what the weather says. So I'm in St. Louis, of course, and it's really coming through. It's coming up and through from up by the interstate I-44 from out of Oklahoma straight up into Missouri, doing a diagonal northeast travel. So we're supposed to get hit with this ice storm, and I can already see ice on the truck or on the windows and windshield. And my wife's out there with her son, getting ready to scrape it off. Good luck with that. So, but anyway, so I'm just chilling out, not doing much, just trying to figure this insanity out and figure I'd look at some bells and whistles and see what actually I could do and what I couldn't do with the real main account on a laptop with YouTube, because I know you can access more bells and whistles on that. Hey, what's up?
Huh?
What's up?
Are you live?
Yeah, I'm live right now.
I'm not telling you why you're live. You forget that idea.
Okay. I didn't know if you were going to the store.
It's nobody else's business.
Okay, sweetie. Okay, so that's hilarious. So anyway, yeah, that's my plans. So what's up with you, Dice Apprentice? I assume you got my my email for the Golden Cross. Or did you? It says 3 still in chat, so there's 2 of you that are still there. So sing out. Who's in? Who's? I know George left. Okay, there you go. I much just saw the stream and thought I'd check out what you were doing. Well, I'm just trying to figure stuff out. I have really no idea what I'm doing. I didn't even think this would work, because what I was doing was that my iPhone was giving me issues because I was trying to go through Streamlabs to use it to go on YouTube for the crafts materials.
The only thing I want to ask you live
Yes,
is,
honey.
where's the ice scraper?
It should be in the back of the truck.
In the back of the truck?
Well, no, behind the seats. It should be behind the seats. Just keep the defrost on. It'll take care of it. I might have to go out there and help her. So I did see the Golden Cross. So breaking it down. Well, it's real. It's not. It shouldn't be too hard. You're just converting. You're starting up a brand new. You're starting. How do I say this? You're doing a normal iron cross, and then you're just adding a come and don't come also on the second roll, or whenever a point is established. I should say whenever a point is established. And then the C and DC travel, and that starts the conversion process to take down the place bet and replace the place bet with true or free odds. That's how it works. It's real simple. Then instead of just having place bets work for you via with or via against that field bet, you have true free odds paying a better bang for your buck. That was the whole thing. If you went down, I did a bunch of different examples that you could do on a layout step by step and break it down. Oh yeah, well yeah. It says he just needs to get comfortable with it, just like any system, with that my original major regression. It's just repetitiveness. Come what? BER. Come bars? Or come, I'm not for sure what that means. Come bets previously. Okay. Well, the come bet is just like a pass line bet. It's a secondary. It's the same thing as a pass line bet, except it's not with that initial point. It's with the next number, which would be a new point. So a come bet is really the same thing as a pass line bet. And same thing with a don't come. A don't come is the same thing as a don't pass line bet, except it's connected to a different number. But the same thing. And just with the pass line bet, you get free odds. You can get true free odds. You do that with your come bet. And that's the whole beauty of doing that, is you get the true free odds. Which is why it's better than a pass line bet. I mean, yeah, why it's better than a place bet. And the flat of the come, when you're doing it this way with the golden cross, the come bet is a flat bet, just like the pass line bet is, and that is going to be nullified by the don't come bet as well, so they cancel each other out. Well, that's true with he said the understood, but an early 7 is kind of brutal. Well, of course it is. That's why that kills the normal iron cross as well. I mean, there's really not too much unless you have a dark side like the blender. Unless you have a strong dark side strategy, that's the only thing that's going to kill that 7 or nullify that 7. Because that's just the way the game's designed. I mean, if you stay on the right, the 7's going to eat. When the 7 comes, it's going to eat you, and that's just the way it is. There's no getting around that unless you're hedging, like the blender does. Yeah, but the 7 eats the iron cross. Will eat the iron cross alive just as well as it'll eat the golden cross alive. There's nothing you can do about it. Well, yeah, the Holy Grail. Yeah. Well, the only thing that that can come close to the Holy Grail that I found, which is the next system that I was going to email you, and that is just really using true free odds to bet with, and I can describe that with you right now. So there's I have to preference this again by saying there's no guarantees for anything, but we can always try to keep the odds in our favor. And what I've found that this brings the house edge down to as minimum as possible. Okay, so what I do, this third Holy Grail, whatever you want to call it, system that I haven't really named it, but that's the Holy Grail. That's something to think about. So anyway, what I do is I do a $5 do and a $5 don't at a $5 table. Okay. I tried to blender and just got destroyed because they kept hitting the point. Okay, so if you watched my if you watch one of my videos, I did a workaround where the 7 won't kill you on the come out roll or a 0.7 out either. So on the come out, you can nullify that 7 on the come out roll and also on that second thing where it won't 0.7 out. And if you look at my video with the tweak of the blender, it explains on how to do that. And that plus what I'm getting ready to say on this Holy Grail thing really does give you an edge to choose to decide which way you want to go, either positive or negative or both. So there is a way to nullify that the 7 where you won't get destroyed, and I put that on a video. So anyway, let's talk about that. So what I do, so on this blender, I'll just briefly go over that real quick. But the blender, you're wanting to get established. You always have to work backwards. So with the standalone of the DC of what you're going to put in the DC. So if you're going to put 35 in the DC, which is going to make the 7 strong and work for you, compared to putting only 30 in for the DC and making that strong for you, then check this out. So you put 35 in the DC, you work backwards. So you got to know what odds are that have to cover that DC to make it pay to balance. Okay. So the don't odds cover the DC. Okay, so an example of that, or the 3 examples of that are when you have 35 in the DC, if the point is 4 or 10, then you've got to bet $70 odds to protect that 35 DC because you have to lay 2 to 1. And 70 divided by 2 is 35. So when the 7 comes, you're not going to lose your DC, or well, you will technically lose that, but it will be balanced out by paying 35 on the don't come or the don't pass line. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. So your 3 options are with the 4 and 10, it would be $70 to protect that 35 DC. It would be $54 to protect if the 5 or the 9 becomes the point. If the 5 or the 9 becomes the point, then it would protect the $35 DC there. And if the 6 or 8 becomes the point to protect that 35 DC, then you would have to do 40. Is it 42? Yeah, it's 42. I think it is. So then that goes for your secondary thing. So the only thing that can kill you then on your DC is the 11. Okay, because you get, but I don't care about the 11 because on the counterbalance on the 11, you have the 2 and the 3 working for you. You push on the 12, of course. So, but you still have a small edge. And if 11 comes, that's just the way it goes. And there's only 2 ways to make 11 out of that 36. So I'm not really concerned with the yield 11 when the 3 and the 2 will make up for it in the long run. So the 7 is what is the most important thing to nullify, and that's how I do that. So with the blender, I do to start out with that blender. I start with at a $5 table. I start with a $5 do and a $5 don't. That also, the only thing that kills me is a 12. You can't win anything, but the object is not to win. The object is not to lose, and that's my thinking. And so the only thing that can kill you is at 12. The 7 is nullified, so you can go and establish a point, and it doesn't matter what the point is. So based on that, what you know the point is, then you can then establish. Well, you would have to actually with a 35 DC, you would have to do $10 my local casino is 10 times odds. Okay, so you would have to actually do $10, or actually it's the lowest I think you can do is like $7, $7 or $8. But let's just say for it'd be a $10 do and a $10 don't, and that way you know that you have enough for odds, because you know that with using 35 DC, you have to have 70 with a point of 4 or 10. You have to have $70 to protect that DC for it to counterbalance. So by having $10 do and $10 don't, and 4 becomes the point, then you know that you can, at a 10 times odds table, that you can then put out $70 because 10 times 10 is 100. So you have to stay below 100 mark. You can only go up to 100 with 10 times odds. And that's what I have at my local casino, is 10 times odds table. Now, a lot of tables are 3x, 4x, 5x. Then you have to adjust your flat bets accordingly. So you might have to put 25. You might have to put $25 do and $25 don't, and just stand, and then let the shooter roll, let him establish a point. If the point's 4, then again, you still only put $70 lay against that point, the 4 or 10, and then you put that $35 in the DC at the same time. That activates that second roll. So that's how I have tweaked the blender. And that kills the 7, that nullifies the 7 on the come out roll, and that also nullifies the 7 on the second roll. I hope does that make sense? Please tell me that makes sense. Dice Apprentice, there might be a delay. Well, anyone else? Do you have any questions, any comments? I mean, do you guys like my videos? What can I do to make them better? I'm open to suggestions. I'm in the process of trying to do different things. This is my first endeavor of going live, and I didn't even think this was going to work. So this was like a really weird thing, because I didn't think it was going to work at all. So I'm going to perfect. I'm just using my laptop right now. I'm on my laptop, and then but George is going to help me tomorrow tweak my iPhone to make it work, because this is really what I want, is my iPhone to work with the Streamlabs to go through YouTube, so I can live stream. That's always been the thing. Who's all in? I see 4 people in here. Who's all in the house? Just put something on the comment on the live chat. Let me know who's here. Hello, 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 everybody. I appreciate everybody that stopped by. Well, I really appreciate being part of the Craps Nation. It's been a thrill, and I'm dead serious about that. George is going live every Sunday. I really like that. It's really been, a blessing, an eye opener. All the guys getting together. Don't come moves behind the number. You no longer need the odds. But how many numbers do you put up? Well, that depends on how aggressive or conservative you are. That's the answer to that. It's whatever whatever the player's comfortable with. You can do 2 or 3 or all. You can try to establish all 6. But what we were talking about a tweak on the blender. So once the don't number, I agree with Press that you don't really need more than you don't have to have more than 3 or even 2. You can get by with 2 if you're doing it the way I'm saying, and you hedge. You do a do and a don't, and then you do the 35 DC plus the odds on the don't pass line, and you heal it or bridge it or quote unquote lay it on the pass on the don't pass line, then to protect the DC. Then once that DC travels, you can take down and your odds. Because they're no longer necessary, you can then reestablish another DC bet. You can do half of that of the first DC bet, or close to it. So if you got 35, you can do like 15 on a new DC bet, and then if that 7 comes, you still win flat on. You still win the DC bet of 35, but you lose the new DC bet that's in the DC. So there's different options that you can do. You can then, or you can leave those odds up with that point number and throw another 35 DC in the don't come. There's a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, Press does a lot of different variations, and you can just you can do whatever you. I mean, there's a lot of different variations. So yes, I do agree with you that once the don't moves behind a number, you no longer need the odds bet. I do agree with that. That's what you can take your odds bets down, and then you can just stand. You can stand there with that one with the DC. When the DC's traveled to the no number, to that new no number, whatever that new no number is, then you can just hedge. You can place that on the opposite side of the no number. So yeah, you can do that with no problem. So if the no number becomes, if the point was 4, and then the $35 DC travels to a 5, then you can place bet or you can place bet, or you can place bet, or you can buy the 5 for $30, your choice. And that way the 5 is hedged, so that's the beauty of the blender, so you can do one number, you can establish 2 numbers, you can establish 3. It depends on how aggressive you want the player wants to be. Hope that makes sense. Right? That's my opinion. And so that's what I was thinking about the blender. Oh, that was my tweak, or my major tweak. Well, it depends on if the table's hot or cold, but I usually take my bankroll is usually $300 to $500 is what I take with me, and if I double that, and my goal is to double or triple my bankroll every single time, and I've done that. I can't say that I've done that exclusively with the blender, but with the blender and following. I follow the trends of the table. So if the table is more leaning towards that it's cold or semi heavy choppy, then I can use the blender and capitalize on that. If it's hot, then I've got other systems that are my go-to systems that I'll place the inside numbers, the place numbers, and just capitalize on that. And so what I do is I always bet higher than the minimum, and then regress, lock up a profit, and then slowly. What I do is what I call the snowball press effect, which is every winning after that, I split in half, and up to half goes on the table for any future bet, or for any bets that I want on the table wherever they go. It does, so I can put up to half on the table on any bet, and then the rest of it, half or more, comes back to my rack / bankroll, and then it's going to build the table amounts on the table, and then it's going to also bring back money to my pocket immediately. So it's a win-win situation. So, but how much have I won on the blender? I've won. I know that I've won over $100 with the blender, just using that exclusively. I know that. I'm not. It does work. It does work. It's a slow grind, but if that table is cold or super choppy, yeah, I'll use it, and I'll win $5 here, $5 there. I got no problem with that. Got no problem with that. Better than losing. Better than losing 44 and 88 inside. That's my humble opinion. So anyway, I want to get back to the Dice Apprentice was talking about. He was trying to find a holy grail. It's what I've done. Hang on, just one. I'm going to have. My wife's sister is here, and I need to go and deal with her because she's in a wheelchair. And so I've got to actually go with her. My wife's taken off with her son, and I've got to go. So I will be back. And this was my first test video. Thank you guys so much for coming in, and I'll be doing this again. I'm going to work out the bugs on this monster and with George tomorrow, and we'll get this really hammered out. But thank you guys so much for being with me for the first time. I appreciate everybody. And if you have any questions, please check out my channel. I've got different things that you guys can look at. If you have any, so please check it out. I'll talk to you all later. and I might be back on later. All right, thanks. Bye.